Well, Toronto Music City. It sounds really nice. So we have three main instruments to help turn Toronto into a music city. The Music City Plan, the Austin-Toronto Music City Alliance, and the brand new Music Office. Now, I had been in touch with our now not so newly minted music officer, Mike Tanner, over the past few weeks. And in response to my questions, he referred me to the press releases about the Music City Plan. Now, I've reviewed all of the press releases and the terms of reference for the Austin-Toronto Music City Alliance, and the framework agreements and the terms of reference for the Music Industry Advisory Council. But, while they all sound great, they were rather vague and didn't really give much indication of what had been accomplished so far, beyond 2 reports and lots of photo ops for the mayor. Now, my big question is, how will this benefit individual artists and the people who actually need to implement these ideas on the ground? How will the findings of the Music City Alliance be disseminated? The framework agreement shows a commitment to write press releases, but if we're actually supposed to put these ideas into practice, don't we need more than a press release? There's also going to be a Music City Alliance Summit next fall. Now, an hour ago, I finally received an email back from the mayor's office that said the only people invited to this conference are members of the Music City Alliance and the Music Advisory Council. While that's great to have this level of symmetry, shouldn't a couple local artists be invited as well for this really great networking opportunity? Just some ideas and questions to keep in mind. Now, back to the music office. Beyond recommending that Mike Tanner have an intern who can field questions from annoying people like myself, this office has been around since 2013, and Mike Tanner started in early 2014, and it's supposed to cut red tape. There's still ways to go with that. Some of my favorite bylaws that should be addressed and haven't been yet, I don't know, maybe there's progress made and have someone from the council here, so he can answer that question better than myself. But there's the need for an entertainment industry permit, certain areas being zoned as employment industrial, so no concerts, no cover, and no music is allowed. Seems a little draconian. The concentration cap bylaw on Queen Street that says that a certain stretch you can only have 25% of it be bars or music venues. And my personal favorite is the poster bylaw, which sounds like a really boring and silly bylaw, but last week Cadillac Lounge was fined $500 because one of its performing bands put up posters about a concert. That seems rather harsh. Now, what's even more interesting about this particular instance is that I found out about this through social media. A friend of mine is Facebook friends with a member of the Music Advisory Council who had made a post on Instagram, which was a really great post. It said exactly what had happened, which bylaw had been violated, the fine, and it had a photo of the bylaw infraction notice. But within a couple hours, that posting had been taken down. Now, if the members of this council are supposed to be the music industry's advocates and the best and brightest who are supposed to really have a leadership role in how this industry takes shape over the years, isn't it a little bit concerning that one of the members of the council can't raise awareness about an issue? If they can't advocate for folks from in the music industry, who can? Speaking of the council, don't worry, I'm not going to trash your work. I'm really not. He looked worried. But my question is, they have a wonderfully diverse council, but opera isn't a part of it. Now, the last time I was at an opera, there were singers, there was an orchestra, there was a conductor. It seems like music to me. And it's also just the most wonderful part of our music sector. Beyond the Canadian Opera Company and Opera Atelier, we have indie opera companies like folks from Against the Grain who are with us tonight, Opera 5, Bicycle Opera, Metro Youth Opera, just really wonderful stuff is happening. And I think that that should be represented on the council. Now I want to leave you with one last point. Toronto's music industry is the most concentrated in North America. We have a larger share of our region's employment that is part of the music industry than in New York and even in the promised land that is Austin. 80% of recording industry expenditure in Canada is right here in Toronto. That's $117.8 million in wages alone. The annual North by Northeast attracts 330,000 attendees and has an economic impact of $50 million. Even Canadian Music Week, which was really recent, it hosted about 1,000 bands in more than 60 venues. So all of that is to say that Toronto is a music city. We need to stop trying to be London. And then we were trying to be New York, and now we're trying to be Austin. Why? We've produced internationally renowned artists like Drake, Rush, Feist, Billy Talent, Cardinal Offishall, and more. That's world class. So this identity crisis that we're having, it really needs to end. Why don't we ask our artists, what are their challenges? What do they need? And what is working, rather than constantly looking to outside talent and outside expertise to dictate what we should be doing right here at home. Because it's not so bad. And I'd actually argue that Toronto's doing pretty well. So with these big questions and these few words, I'd like to say welcome to Salon West.